Finally,
It
Moise,
works. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
finally. Good afternoon, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Hope
Good
you are
afternoon.
ready. Can see you are smiling.
Yes, I am. I can see you, Kate.
Yeah, okay, man. Yes. Our number one fan. She's here for us today. Okay, I'll just do a little background setup. Because I'm here
Okay.
to pin the topic because I was really trying to get through to you, okay?
Okay. All
Just
right.
give me a few minutes, please. Let me see. Hello, Keme. We can see you. Thank you for joining us. You're gonna be the next person we are inviting on this show. Don't worry.
It would be so nice to have her.
So, Mrs. Muiz, we would like you to introduce yourself to us,
Okay. Good
please.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Omola. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. No
My
problem.
name is Mrs. Omola Jesumewa Ashonibare. And I'm a child educator and an
Okay.
advocate for healthy parent-child relationships. And
Okay.
I've been in this I've been an educator for over a decade and
Wow.
an advocate for healthy parent-child relationship for half a decade. And it has
Okay.
exposed me to a lot of experiences, pleasant and unpleasant.
Challenging, of course. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, we would like to hear what you have for us today on the impact of emotional intelligence on child's development. You know, I think one of the reasons for this topic was because, lately I noticed in the Nigerian media, there've been a lot of reporting of child bullies. I think so. Some incidents have been happening in schools, even at home. And we've got to discover that even parents are now potential bullies. So, what could be missing? Why do we really need to know more about this emotional intelligence for children, please?
Now, the thing is, as parents, you cannot give what you don't have.
Okay.
Bully parents will raise a child that is a bully. A parent that is emotionally not intelligent will also raise a child that
Okay.
is not emotionally intelligent. That is because children copy and paste. You know, when you are raising a child, you are telling the child directly or indirectly that when you are faced with these challenges, this is what you do, this is how you handle it. So by default, when that child has the same experience, it is, like you give a computer an instruction, Control C means copy, Control V means paste, delete. All of these things are clearly spelled out. So you don't particularly have to tell that child that when you are faced with this experience, this is what you do. No, the child sees what you do. So it is an auto response. It is an auto response. The moment the child is faced with any experience that is unpleasant or the child gets agitated, the child automatically gets violent. So it's important that we as parents, first of all, develop our own emotional intelligence. If we are not emotionally intelligent as parents, we will raise children who are in turn not emotionally intelligent, and the circle continues. So the onus really lies on us as the parents to do our due diligence to be able to have a healthier environment.
Wow. So, like what you just said is summary that charity begins at home.
That's it. Charity begins at home. Bully begins at home. Violence begins at home. Abuse begins at home. Neglect, all of these things. The values, the shortcomings that we see in the bigger society, in the community, it
That's
begins at home.
the
So it
house.
goes back to the family.
Okay. Well, don't mind. I would like to know more about emotional intelligence. You can start by defining it for us. So, we will give you the floor to take charge today.
Thank you. So I
Please,
like
you're there.
to thank you very much for having me, Rose. Thank you everyone for being here. I like to define emotional intelligence with just two words, breaking it down. Emotion, meaning your feeling, intelligence, meaning thinking. So
Thinking.
emotional intelligence basically is thinking about how you feel, processing your feelings per time, processing your feelings per time. A lot of us struggle with emotional intelligence because most times we don't even know how we feel. We are not attentive enough to our emotions. Sometimes you don't even know, sometimes you can be upset and you won't even know you are upset.
Yes.
You can be
Exactly.
angry and you won't even know you are angry. You can be irritated, but you don't even know that what you actually feel is being irritated.
Okay.
You can have a certain emotion, you can feel a particular way and not even know exactly how you feel, or not even know why you feel the way you feel. I'll give an example. I was at a friend's place some time ago. She had put to bed, and in my mind, I was trying to look out for her. I was surprised to see her carrying out a particular task, barely, not even up to a week after she
Wow.
gave birth. So I got there and I'm like, why are you doing this? I mean, you're not supposed to be here. People should be able to help you. And then she went, what's the big deal, you know? The following morning, when she was going to talk about it, the way she went on about it, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, what happened? So I felt hot that she got upset that I was looking out for her. But I didn't even know that I was hot about it until I got home and I started transferring aggression. And my husband was like, okay, where are you coming from?
What
Then I
happened?
told him what happened there. And then I told him, say, why are you coming to transfer aggression on me? So I was hot about what happened, but I didn't even know that I was hot.
You were
Somewhere in my
just
mind.
angry.
So it's possible to have certain emotions and not even know what emotion you're dealing with, except you learn to take proper documentation of your emotions, learn to pay proper attention to your emotions. As children, they observe, they watch,
What we
they
do.
see, they see what we do. Most times we are carried away and we are telling our child, don't do this. Is that what you're supposed to do? But the child is confused because this is what I see mommy do.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
This is what I see. Like the most important adults in my life. This is what I see them do.
Do.
This is literally how they live. So why are you telling me not to do what you do? The child doesn't understand it. So we are going to have to be the examples we want to see. There's this tough question. If you, as an adult, the way you are raising your child, will you like to see your child turn out the way you are?
Yeah.
It's a new question. As an adult, if you see your child in the next 20 years and your child is regurgitating every single thing that you do, how proud will you be? If you won't be proud of the results, change the process. If you
Okay.
of the results, change the process. So, what are you going to do differently? You're going to have to learn to be accountable. Your emotions are your responsibility. Nobody dumped them on you. So, as individuals, as a person, I must be accountable
Comfortable.
for what I do, how I feel, how I communicate my emotions appropriately or inappropriately. It is absolutely up to me as a person.
Okay.
Even though I
Your
am
responsibility.
upset, it is not the other person that will say because you're upset, throw a tantrum. Adults too throw tantrums.
Yes, yes.
When you are
That's true.
shouting at your child, it is called adult tantrum. When you are not able to control it because your child is doing something, the child is a child. It is my responsibility to be an adult. So because my child is not being responsible with his or her emotions, I now also react by
Yes.
being irresponsible with my emotions. So that is
Wow.
it.
Wow. Wow. So that is amazing. So as parents, we actually mirror these emotions to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not what we say, but what we do.
Yeah.
So what we do actually creates a lasting impression on these kids.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 So are you trying to tell me that okay, like I said earlier when we started, like the bullies we have in schools now, is it possible for us to trace it back to their homes or to their legal guardians as being a key factor to imputing that behavior in them?
I would say a 70% chance, yes.
Okay?
We established the home is the first community a child is exposed to.
Yes, that's true.
Now, the way a child would respond to a situation is a factor of how that child has been trained to respond to
At home.
situations at
Okay.
home. Now, of course, there are external factors like how they learn, how they associate amongst themselves in school when nobody is watching. But the home is the major influence. That's why I say 70%. Every other thing that the child brings back home, the home has to create an environment where the child is able to filter his or her experiences based on the family values. When the child goes to school and sees a child who probably takes what is not theirs, and that child comes home and does the same thing, what do you do? Do you label the child? Do you shout at the child? Or do you teach the child, okay, so I know that you're learning new things every day, but when you learn these things, do you try to synchronize them with our family values? For instance, you know that one of our values is when you want to take something, you ask
You
before
ask,
you
you seek permission. Yeah.
take permission, and you don't take what is not yours. So if you see a friend doing that, does it make it appropriate? So whatever the child brings from the outside, you have to synchronize it with the values that you have running in your home. So it boils down to the home. The child learns to be a bully. Charity begins at home. The child learns to be a bully from the home. The child learns to be emotionally intelligent from the home. The child learns to be emotionally sensitive
From
from
the
the home.
home.
There are homes where the kids wake up in the morning, and for instance, I have a 3-year-old, and when she wakes up in the morning, if I'm the one attending to her, we are likely to have like a 70% smooth morning. Because,
Really?
yes, because you know, okay, there's this, according to psychology, the mother is more emotionally aware and sensitive than the
Yes,
father.
yes,
So
yes.
because she knows that we are able to communicate emotionally, it makes it easier. But because
Okay.
a man is not as
Not,
emotionally aware in most cases, or as emotionally sensitive as the woman, children like to play with their fathers because the oxytocin level is higher
yes,
when they are playing
yes.
with their fathers. But for the mother, the emotion is higher. So we are able to have a smooth morning in the morning if I'm the one attending to her because we connect emotionally.
Okay.
Unlike for the man. So it is the responsibility of the parents to create an emotionally stable environment. If a child grows in an emotionally stable environment, the child is able to relate better. So
Okay.
when there is bullying going on the outside, instead of the child falling victim of being a bully, or instead of the child being a bystander, the child is able to stand up for the victim of the bully. So the child is not a bystander but an upstander, able to speak up for the other person, defend the cause of the other person, protect the other person, and even report such a situation to the appropriate authority. So it
Wow.
goes back to the home.
Okay. Like what you just said now, I got a point from what you just said that it is the responsibility of the parents to create an emotionally stable environment.
Yes.
So, but because lately we do push, or should I say, unknowingly, the parents they have pushed this responsibility to the teachers in school. They say, the teachers are the one to discipline the kids. If my kid is misbehaving, it is the responsibility of the school. Why am I paying heavily? Why am I doing this? Some even blame the church without knowing that they are what? A key factor. So if a child is not, emotionally stable from what I got from you, there's every tendency for that child to go out there and display those unattended emotions out
Correct.
to the world.
Mhm.
So that is very key. So parents, we are responsible to creating that environment to make our child become what emotionally intelligent. Thank you very much. You can go on. You can go on. There are a lot of questions popping up. Yes.
Especially people who can't see you.
Sorry?
I can't see you.
You can't see me. I can see you clearly.
I can't see you on this end.
I can see you. I can see your face. Is it better? Am I back?
Your image,
I'm clear. I can see you clearly.
or your image is
Let's.
not clear. So, all right.
Can you see me now? Is it better?
It's not coming on at all. Your image, your picture is not coming on at all.
At all? It's a blank page.
Yes,
It's
it's
not.
just dark.
Wow. That's not what I'm seeing here.
But you can see me, right?
Clearly, perfectly,
Those in the
perfect.
comment section, if they can see both of us, I think it's fine.
Okay. I'm just gonna check. You can continue. I'm just gonna check. I'm working on that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Oyemike says he can see the both of us. Thank you.
You
All
can
right, so
you
we
can
can.
see both of us. Okay, that's great then. Thank you very much. Okay. So we can continue there. So
Okay.
so
Now, I was going to mention that
okay.
I was going to mention that in introducing children to emotional intelligence, parents believe that when children are young, it's not important. They are not. I mean, they don't know anything about emotional intelligence. So I would like to talk about that aspect because it's a major game changer. It's
Okay.
to establish emotional intelligence from quite an early age. It's
Okay.
build on it, lines upon lines, precept upon precept. For instance, as a mother, you're nursing your baby.
Okay.
The way you react or respond to your baby will go a long way. Please excuse me.
Okay.
The way you react or respond to your baby will go a long way. When you are nursing your baby, what do you do? What it's advised that when you're nursing, you're looking at your baby because there is a
Okay. Yes.
connection,
Yes. A big commission.
eye kind of connection. When your baby is sucking, your baby is not looking elsewhere. Your
Yeah.
baby is looking at you.
Yeah.
When you're looking at your baby in return, it tells the baby that, okay, you are paying attention. Now, when you are paying attention to your baby, it shows that there's something called attentive listening or empathic listening. It shows that you are not just absent minded, you are investing in the emotion of that child because you are spending quality time, undivided attention. You are not distracted. So that helps the child to pay attention to you. The child is also learning to respond to
Okay.
the emotion you give back. That is why at certain stages they are able to smile at their parents. They are able to smile. Children who are able to smile are learning facial expressions
Wow.
from the
Yeah.
expression. So it's a return of facial expression. The same way it's a return of emotions. It's a return of energy. So what we give them is also what they learn to practice and
Okay.
give back to us.
Okay. Okay.
So it's never, there is no young age or there is no age where you say the child is too young to understand. Sorry about that. Where you say a child is too young to understand emotional intelligence. So from 0 to 2 years, they are learning responsive caring. While you are paying attention to them, while you are nurturing them, they are learning to also respond with those nurturing attentions. Also, we can begin teaching emotional labeling from 2 years.
Two.
When the child, when your child is throwing tantrum, you're able to ask the child, okay, do you feel, you are asking questions, do you feel upset? Do you feel angry? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel agitated? You are able to give the child words to help them identify their emotions. When you are able to build that vocabulary, the emotional vocabulary, it's easy for them to also draw from when they feel a certain way. They are also able to pay attention to how they feel and what they feel at time. So that helps with the at the toddler stage. Then for the preschooler, they learn emotional regulation.
Emotional
Emotional
regulation.
regulation, yes, by a factor of how they have watched you regulate yourself. We started with saying you can't give what you don't have.
Yes, ma'am.
A
Yes.
parent, if you are emotionally regulated, your child also learns to do the same thing.
Okay. Yes. Sir.
your child emotional regulation not by shutting your child down when he or she is having an emotional meltdown.
Okay.
An experience I had. My 3-year-old got back from school one day and she cried. Most times she cries when she comes back from
Okay.
school. It could be as a result of pent up emotions, stress, tiredness, hunger, a lot of other things. And when she comes on like that, she can cry for as long as 1 hour. Sometimes she can cry as long as 2 hours.
Wow.
And she feels comfortable enough. When she's done, we know she's done. If she's not done, if you interrupt her, she will keep whining.
Let's continue this.
Then she exactly so just but when she cries to her full, you can tell that yes, she's satisfied and we can move on to the next thing.
So
So
what do
what
you do at those instances when it happens? What do you
at
do?
those instances when she's crying, most times I'm just beside her and I'm watching her and I'm asking, do you need a hug? Should I hold you? Sometimes she just keeps saying, leave me alone. So I sit beside her. Sometimes she will stand up, leave where I am, but I just make sure that she knows that I am within reach. So even when she stands up and goes to another place, she's somewhere where she can see me. And sometimes I want to try, okay, do you really need me around? So I stand up and leave, and then she starts shouting, Mommy, don't go. So I sit down. When I sit down, she still stays and keeps crying, but she doesn't come to stay with me. So she just basically wants to make sure that I am there for
Wow.
her. So do you understand my emotions? Like, Mommy, are you going to abandon me because I'm having emotional meltdown? That kind of thing.
Okay.
So that she's having emotional meltdown. She doesn't want to handle the emotion herself. She just wants to let it out. So while she's letting it out, create a safe environment for her to let it out
So let's
without feeling judged or without feeling like how long can mommy take this? Mommy will soon shout at me now if I don't stop crying. But when you allow her to cry till she's satisfied, because she's letting out her emotions, it's
yeah.
a pile up of pent up of emotions. So she has to let it out to be able to take in refreshing emotions. For her, that is what. So just create the environment for her to. What I do is I just allow her do it and then be there. Make sure that she knows that I'm available when you're ready.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Instead of bottling it up
Instead of
and releasing it in the wrong way. Okay.
that is what most of us are used to. We bottle up our emotions. We repress
Yes.
emotions.
Yes.
Why are you crying? You ask a child, why are you now
A little
crying?
bit
Is it because
of
of that little thing? Or you say you are just crying for no
for
child
nothing.
cries for
Yes. Yes.
no
No child cries for nothing.
reason. There is a
Wow.
why.
Wow. No child cries for nothing.
Yes.
So I can really see that having this knowledge is very important because, like you said earlier, you can't give what you don't have. So until we know, until we understand these emotions, then we can become better parents, far, far more better than our parents. I remember in those days growing up, when we just, personally, I'm an introvert. I want to express something. So you know what I'm talking about. I have a lot of emotions on my inside. At the moment I begin to sob at home, you just see one hand trying to. Why are you crying? We can't. We didn't have the opportunity to express ourselves. We
Sometimes
were.
they
We
even
were.
say,
We
"Yeah,
were
go to your room." You send the child away for
yes,
expressing emotion, or you even beat the
they
child.
had more to our problems.
Beat it so that the cry can come out. So you will beat. It is
Yeah.
your own frustration you
So
are
they
releasing.
asked us, why are you crying? We never knew crying was a healthy way of expressing
It is.
some unintended emotions. Nobody told
It
us. In fact,
is.
when you cry, they saw us as weaklings.
Oh, that's why we have men that are
Yes.
emotionally sensitive and
Yes.
they are dying on the inside. They will have BP.
BP.
They cannot say what they are feeling. They cannot cry because they feel men don't
Men.
cry. The world
Yeah.
has taught them that men don't cry, and it's not true.
It's not true.
Any man that does not cry cries in other ways because he will be struggling in his emotions.
Yes.
He will have areas where he's struggling, self doubt, where he's
Yeah.
so unsure about what he's doing. So it is human to cry.
It is
Men who
human.
do not cry on the outside, they cry on the inside. They cry in some other ways.
That's true. And I think even for our teenagers, when they can't find a stable environment to express these emotions, these things could open up the portal for them to begin to indulge in some terrible behaviors and, creating habits just to bottle up that pain, to cover up
You
that scar,
know,
right?
do you know that most of us got into relationships early in life
Yeah,
because we were seeking a kind of emotional connection that we didn't have with our parents?
yes,
If
that is very
we had a healthy relationship with our parents, we won't be looking for another relationship on the outside. If I can trust my mom and talk to her about anything and everything, if I can trust my dad and talk to him about anything and everything, I won't be needing another boy in my
yes,
life
an external person.
until the appropriate age. So if we are able to develop healthy relationship with our children, it's actually for our own good. It helps us establish a lot of values, a lot of things that we won't be fighting our children for.
That's true. That's true. So we really need to work consciously. It's now our core responsibility as the new generation Z parents, to create this awareness. The way they are. They are different from us because,
Hey,
like,
Gen Z. In fact, even their mode of communication is
yes, it's
different. You see,
different.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is this is this a language?
Yes, like what's happening? Is it that I mixed out something? Because when we were growing there, nobody gave us this opportunity. You dare not ask a question. You dare not ask your parents or even an auntie, why do you want me to do this? For this generation, they are so particular. Auntie, why? Even in church, I
In
think,
fact,
yeah, a 10-year-old
when
boy walked up to me and he was like, Auntie, why did you people have to change the decorations in church?
and
When
he
I was a 10 years old,
said,
I couldn't do that. Are you getting me? So I had to explain
in
to
our
him
time,
that,
we
see,
couldn't ask our parents why.
yeah,
Once they say do it,
it
that's
is
all.
easy.
Don't be just go and do it automatically. You ask why. Is either you are receiving a slap or
Yeah.
you are receiving a bar.
So
Who are you to
even to the choice of our Christmas clothes back then, they buy us whatever they feel like
what
buying
they
us.
want? You will wear what I ask you to wear. You will do even to choice of career.
Yes,
You will be an
yes.
engineer because I want you to be an engineer.
I wanted
This
to do
is what
sciences, yes. So I think we really have a lot of work to do. Thank you so much, Layo, for that. I don't know, you still have more to say because we have a lot of questions popping up already for you.
okay. Um we'll take questions, but let's talk about how parents with low emotional intelligence can raise
Okay, yes.
emotionally intelligent children. To
Okay,
achieve this, you as a parent must first work on your emotions.
okay.
We established you can't give what you don't have. So it boils down to you. It comes back to you as a
Yeah,
parent.
yeah.
And fortunately or unfortunately, whichever end that you are on, if you raise emotionally intelligent children, generations coming after you come out healthy,
Wow.
emotionally healthy. But if you as an adult, as a parent, are emotionally unintelligent, generations coming after you will have traumas upon traumas to heal from because you're going to be transferring trauma to them.
Yes,
What you hand down is what your children, so it's either your children heal or they bleed. The same
yes,
thing, either me as a parent, it is either I heal or I bleed.
yes.
If I heal, the better for me, the better for generations coming after me. If I do not heal, I will bleed on them and they will also bleed on those coming after them.
Lead on the wrong
Or
people.
they have to heal from trauma. And even when they are healing from trauma, they are not going to come out 100% whole. There will also be trauma that they will pass down one way or
Or
the
the
other.
other, yeah.
So I, as a parent, must heal from this trauma
Okay.
for my sake and for the sake of my children. Now, how do I do that? Be aware of my emotions per time. Self awareness. Self
Okay.
awareness. Be aware of how I feel per time. And then we also talk about emotion labeling or emotional vocabulary. Develop your emotional vocabulary. learn to label your emotion per time. Journaling. If you're thinking of how to go about that, journal how you feel per time. There is emotion journaling. You note it down. Okay, when this
But
happens,
is that, sorry to interrupt, is that really possible to journal down your emotions, like how you feel? Can you
it
keep a
is.
track of it?
It is. It's possible because, as humans, when we wind down for the day, before you go to bed, you're trying to take account of what happened today. How did you feel? How did you, what pleasant experiences did you have? What unpleasant experiences did you have? When it happened, how did you respond? Or how did you react? What did you do? What should you have done better? Or how could you have handled it differently? All of that is emotions journaling. You taking account of what you did, how you responded to the experiences you had, and better ways that you could have responded to it. So it is not far-fetched. It is not that difficult. It's something that we can practice on a day-to-day basis. We literally do that. We just don't know that that's what we
That's
are
what we
doing.
do. Oh,
Like that, you are taking account of how your day went. So when you have an emotions journal, you journal down the aspect that has to do with your emotions, and then you ask yourself, okay, when this happened, what should I have done differently?
how was
Next,
that?
what can I do? That's the place of stopping and thinking. Impulse control. So while you're learning emotional intelligence, you're also going to learn impulse control. So when somebody abuses you, you're not quick to react. Or when your child is doing something and on a normal day you would have slapped. In fact, sometimes you'd have raised your hand and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pause and talk to yourself. So it's either you remove yourself from the situation, remove yourself from the environment, go back, shut down, and then restart. Evaluate your thoughts, evaluate your responses. Your children will also observe these things. Mommy, you wanted to slap me the other time. Why did you not slap me again? They will
Yeah, yeah,
so
worksheet.
be able to own your process. Tell them, I was about to slap you because I got angry about what you did. But then I didn't get angry because what you did was not, of course, what you did was not right, but I got angry because I could not control myself. Not
Yeah.
because anger is not a factor of, okay, now I'm going to do something to get you angry and you must get angry. No, it is a reaction that I give.
Okay, so
Nobody
reaction.
get angry. It is because you learned that when this happens or when you have an unpleasant experience, the response is anger.
Oh, you
How
learned.
about, of course, it's a learned reaction. So, how about impulse control? When you learn to control your impulses, you are able to respond better instead of reacting. So, impulse control.
Thank you very much.
Another thing to do is you can create a community of accountability partners
Okay.
where you are able, because whether we like it or not, we all have stressors. So when you are stressed, what do you do? Or when you are about to lose it, I'm angry, what do you do? If you are not able to help yourself, you have somebody that can help you. You have an accountability partner. Today my child got me angry, I almost beat her, or you already beat her. Report yourself. You have an accountability partner. You have a group of people who are like-minded, who have the same focus as you, who want to achieve the same thing as you, that you are able to keep tab on each other, keep tab on one another. And once in a while, you're able to come together, discuss your struggles, discuss your experiences, encourage each other on how to go about it better next time. You
Okay.
have a community of like-minded individuals. I think with this, we can't outrun them, but with this few, we can develop a healthy means of emotional expression.
Wow.
Then emotional intelligence as well.
Wow. Thank you so, so much. You really said a lot. And I must confess, I learned a lot from you, like impulse control and creating a community of accountable partner. And you can agree with me that that is quite scarce, having somebody you can voice out even the unwanted or unpleasant, stuff. So because that has to do with confidentiality. You need people you can confide in. So I think when choosing a community of accountable partners, you need people that they can maintain some level or degree of confidentiality. You do not want your family affairs, especially that of your children, being discussed. At times we really go out to get help from people, but on the long run, we find out that instead of giving us solution, our matters they become, subject of discussion. So I think that is one reason why most people really struggle in the area of getting accountable people to share their life challenges with. Wow, thank you so much, Mrs. Liz. I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed. I will just go over the questions quickly here. I've got one question, and it's like I think you've answered a lot of them. From what you gave us, you told us that there's no right age. In fact, we should begin emotional intelligence from nursing the baby, because if we can establish an healthy connection while nursing the children, action and reaction responses, they get to learn our facial expression, they get to learn even our voice, the tune, the way we respond, the way we react, even when they mess about. So by that, we can build an emotionally healthy environment with them. So it begins with us. I think that answers the questions that says, at what age do we start creating emotional awareness in children? So thank you very much for that question. And there's a second one here. It says, how can I help some some children with low IQs, like those bullies, for example? I notice most of them do not want to be called bully, but unfortunately, they are in that class. We call them, this child is a bully. Even some adults are bullies. Yeah, we have some grown-up bullies, even in church, everywhere in society, our workplaces. There are some people that is their job. They just love to step on people. They just want to ride on people. They just want to take advantage of people. So how do we help them? Now, assuming I'm already emotionally intelligent, and this person doesn't know that he or she has a problem. So how can we help such persons? Is it possible?
Yes, it is. It's
Okay.
very possible. The bully has to know that he or she is a bully first.
But he has to know.
Yes, because if you do not know that you are a bully, that is another challenge. Parents actually bully their children and they think it is discipline.
Okay.
Bullying is not discipline, especially
Okay.
parents that beat their children. As a mother, if your husband beats you, you call it spousal abuse.
Yeah.
When you beat your child, it
It's an abuse.
is violence. It is the same way you won't have your spouse beat you. It's the same way you shouldn't, because you are validating violence. That's what you're doing to the child. You're
Okay.
validating violence. You are telling the child it is okay to exert violence when you feel angry or when you feel upset or when you feel agitated. So the same way the child gets out there and then maybe a classmate does something that gets him upset and then boom, he goes out on the child. And by the time your child consistently does this, he or she is termed a bully. So
Yeah.
where did he come from? The
From
home.
the home.
So how do you help such a child, or how do you help children generally to not turn out to be bullies? It falls back to us again. We must establish an environment where respect is mutual.
Respect question.
Mutual respect. Establish mutual respect. Despite the age, establish mutual respect. You want to speak to a child is not less than a human being. A child is a human being. The difference is he's younger or she's younger. And one thing we are oblivious of is when we relate with these children and we think because they are children, it's okay to shout at them or command them or dish out whatever it is we are dishing out. We are teaching them that it is okay to also do
That
the
the
same to whoever
words.
is them.
Okay. Okay.
So when you are quick to tell your child, shut up, your child will tell you shut up because he doesn't know that it is wrong. He thinks it is an appropriate language of conversation or an appropriate language of communication. So everything we do to children is us teaching them that this is how to relate with people. So when you disrespect your child will give you disrespect back, not because he wants to disrespect you, but because that is what you have put into that child.
Yes.
Establish mutual respect. Create an environment that establishes mutual respect. That's the first. The next is teach empathy. Most of us don't even know what empathy feels like.
Empathy. Okay.
Most of us don't know what empathy feels like. Some of us show empathy outside, but we don't show it on the inside.
Like, yeah.
Your friend calls you and tells you, "Oh, Ukeme, do you know that this guy we've been dating for like 10 years? Or, okay, let's be realistic, for like 2 years, and out of the blues, he just calls and says he's not doing again." Oh, hey, yeah. You're able to feel your friend's pain, and then you begin to empathize with her. You're, available for her. You're showing up for her. You're coming through for her. But you get home and your child is crying and you are invalidating your child's feelings. You are asking, why are
How
you
is that?
crying? See, because there's no, I mean, the child wants, let the child cry. So empathize, show that the child's feeling is valid.
Okay.
Show that your child's feeling is valid. Show that their fears are valid. Show that their concerns are valid. That is what it means to empathize. Show that they are concerned. That's all. Just show that. I mean, it is normal to feel this way because you are human. It is a reminder that we are human. So empathizing means putting yourself in this person's shoes. That is what it means. Then communicate clear expectations. Communicate clear expectations. That is how you want your child to lay your bed, for instance, and there is so much clothes on your bed. If you just tell the child, Kolapo, go and lay my bed, or John, go and arrange my wardrobe, and the child gets there and there's so much clothes, the child will lay the bed and leave the clothes on the bed.
Yes. Yes.
When you communicate the expectation, okay, Kolapo, I need you to lay my bed. Please, on the bed, there are lots of clothes there. Help me arrange those clothes, fold them and arrange them. The shirts on one side, the skirts on one side. Give clear
Clear
instructions.
instructions.
In clear terms. Communicate your expectations in clear terms. That way, you are not leaving room for shortcomings. Parents, sometimes we are actually waiting for our children to fail.
Really.
Yes. Sometimes we are waiting for our children to fail because you give your child an instruction like go and lay my bed, and then the child gets to the room and sees that there are lots of clothes on the bed, and then you are waiting to see, let me see what this
What
child
is
will do
schedule?
today. There's no point waiting to see what the child will do. Just tell the child what to do. When you tell the child what to do, the child will know that this is what is expected of him or her, and attend to what is expected of him or her. So
Yeah.
there's no point waiting for your child to disappoint you. There's no point. Your child is human. If you expect disappointment, you will
We will
get it.
get it. Sure. Yeah.
If you are not expecting your child to disappoint you, communicate in clear terms. Communicate your expectations. Another thing is encourage open communication. Encourage open communication. Let it be that when it comes to having conversations or having communication, there are no gray areas. Your child should be. Please give me a minute. Please give me a minute.
Wow. You see, today we've really learned a lot on the impact of emotional intelligence on children. Oh, yes, she comes back. You're welcome back.
I'm sorry about that. One of my vendors.
It's fine. It's okay. Okay.
Thank you. So, open communication. Let your child know that when it comes to communication, there are no gray areas.
Okay.
I cannot talk to mommy about this thing because she will flare up. I cannot talk to daddy about this thing because I'm afraid. Let
So
your
permit
child
me to ask. So are you trying to say that any subject can be discussed? Just anything? No restriction?
anything and everything. You see,
Everything.
sometimes parents are saying, I don't want to teach my child this thing because I don't want to expose my child. If you
Yeah.
don't expose your child in the home, they will expose him outside. The things you don't want to teach your children. Hey, do you know the kind of conversation children have outside?
Yeah, there is your Z, I know.
Hey, do you know the things they talk about
What they
now
talk
that you
about.
have code for everything?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that FYB means, I saw FYB on my cousin's. I think I was
FYB. I think I saw that on Instagram.
sure. So I didn't know the meaning. I had to ask my cousin, what's the meaning of this thing? And then he said, final year babe or final year student, FYS, final year student. I'll be fine, something like that. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, that.
Am I that far behind? I'm not BBT. I'm not born before technology, but I mean, so please, yes, no topic should be out of your radar. If you don't
Okay.
teach your child deliberately in the home, they will teach the. Now that we are in a generation of information, there's information
Yes,
everywhere. What your child wants to
accessible.
get from it, knowledge. Your child has access to information everywhere, but they don't have access to knowledge. So it is the knowledge they should get from you. They should get knowledge. So no topic should be beyond your radar. Everything should be open for discussion. Then the way we expose our children to media also, exposing our
Okay.
children to media, it is parents can decide what age to give their children devices. That's not what we are saying. But what content do your children get exposed to? Even on TV, let's start with TV.
Okay.
Cartoons they watch for younger children, for older children, the kind of movies they watch, do you censor? We should be able to censor what our children are watching. We should be able to censor what our children are watching. And for older children, from when they are younger, we should be able to guide them so that by the time they are older and old enough to make decisions, to make independent decisions or guided decisions, they are able to make decisions that still align with the family values. At that point, they also have their values as individuals. So they would
Yeah.
have built their values as individuals and then develop values that align with the values of the home that they are coming from. So when they are exposed to media, they are able to decide, okay, does this align with my value as a person? If this media content does not align with my value as a person, off it, dead it. I'm not doing, I'm not viewing, I'm not watching, I'm not listening. Even conversations that they engage in, your children should be able to remove themselves from conversations that do not
Yes.
align with their
Unhealthy conversations. Yeah.
values. Environments that does not seem healthy for them, they should be able to remove themselves. Your children, I'm not a tree. If you're having a conversation that does not align with my value, all I need to do is excuse myself.
Excuse yourself out of it.
If I'm in a place and somebody is doing something that does not align, all I need to do is remove myself from that environment. I'm not a tree. So the same way we should be able to train our children to remove themselves. And that is where boundaries come in. We
Setting.
should teach our children to respect boundaries. We should teach them to identify people's boundaries and respect these boundaries. We should also teach them to set boundaries for themselves. Set boundaries for themselves and respect other people's boundaries. Teach people to also respect your boundary. If you're in a place and your boundary is not being respected, leave.
Leave.
That's it. You are not a tree. So all of this can help to nurture a child to not be a bully and also be sensitive to other people.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much, Louise. You have practically answered all the questions here. There's no point going through any one of them. You've helped us to answer the appropriate age, to introduce emotional intelligence and how to help bullies. I got something. So these bullies, they really need to know that they are one before we can help them.
Yes.
So problem identification. So if they say they are not bullies, so what do we do? If they don't agree that they are bullies,
Don't know that they are
and
bullies.
people
You
say
let
this is
them
who I
know.
am.
You know, sorry
People say this
about
is
what.
who I am. This is my makeup. So
Do you know that most times bullies don't even know that what they are doing is bullying.
okay,
Because it is what they are used to,
okay,
the environment they grew up in.
okay.
Unfortunately, even we as parents, we don't even know that what we are doing is bullying. I mean, I'm teaching my child, is discipline. We think it is discipline until the child goes out and met the same thing on other people and is labeled. That is when we now come back. And then, unfortunately, some of us will still say, "Where did you learn to bully?
Where
Ah,
did you
where did you learn, Ke?"
learn it from?
How?
Yeah.
What you do to that child is you teaching the child that it is okay to do this to other people. So when your child does it outside, you are not, don't come back and say, "Where did you learn it?" The child learnt it from you,
You
ma.
from the house. Yeah.
That when you feel upset, you hit.
You
When
eat.
somebody, or when you get angry because somebody did something, you eat. You hit in return. You taught the child. So, and then one other thing that we should also teach our children is when somebody is bullying you, it is because they feel intimidated by you. So, a
Okay.
bully is a weak person that is trying to remove your strength. A bully is trying to take your strength away from you. That is what a bully is doing. So I see that you have strength more than me in this area. I need to strip you of your strength. So beat you down. I need to beat. That is what a bully does. A bully is a weak person who is trying to pull down a strong person or a perceived strong person. So tries to beat
Take
down your
away your
strength,
confidence.
take away your confidence till you come down to his level or lower than his level. That is when he now feels comfortable. So those people where they feel they have to bring down one person to feel stronger. That is it. That is it. As subtle as that. Even parents, when we manipulate our children, do you know we are bullying them? Eh,
Hmm.
do this because you did not do this. It's emotional bully. But that is even a discussion for another day. Let's
Yeah.
focus on. Let's.
Wow, Please, I must confess that I can see Coach Wendy in you. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, he has really impacted you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. You just made us to realize something very important that children are also human beings. We
Yes.
think because they are small in size, we just treat them as
They are
you know
not.
as nothing.
They are not less human. They are as 100% human as the
Yes,
adults.
as we are.
The difference
So
is growing. They are learning.
yes. So thank you for bringing that, and especially in permit me to say where we grew up in Africa, it's a child, a small picking, they just chef us aside like we are not important.
Where they
But
use
I know by the grace of God,
you are a child, my friend. You
just
see your mates here.
go. Even when you try to say something, you try to even be innovative. It's even an adult that will come and say, "Come on, shut up. We've been doing
Oh,
this
shut
for
up. Don't
years.
you know?
You that they gave birth to yesterday, you are nobody."
Wait for a year.
And that has impacted us, even our creativity. It has shut down our potentials. But I know by the grace of God, this new generation, you and I, we are taking it up as our responsibility to raise very healthy children
We are
that
taking.
can make choices.
Yeah.
And God will help us in Jesus' name. Hi,
Yeah.
Moise. I don't know what to say, but all I have to say to you this afternoon is thank you very much for your time. I know you are a very busy person, very, very busy. I do not take this for granted. And I know the audience out there, they have learned one or two things. Dear audience watching me, the children are important. And these children are not just your biological kids, even kids around us, our nieces, nephews. We have to take responsibility. We need to be sensitive to their emotions. Even when we go to church, how do you relate with these children? Because we are trying to model, we are mirroring whatsoever we want to see in them. So our character, we have to build ourselves. We are the project. So the change begins with what? Us, you and I. So, my love, thank you very much for your time. Please do also where to follow my friend. What's your Instagram account? Olive Research. Please follow my lovely sister. She's a beautiful mother of two. She's an amazing teacher. And funny enough, both of us, we used to have opposite temperaments while in the university. I was the quiet one, of course, and she was always expressing herself. But we thank God today. And Layo is always expressing herself. She tells you how she feels. But I don't tell you how I feel. I only show you with my face. So, Moise, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. God bless you. See you some other time. Bye
Okay,
for
thank you
now.
so much. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So you can go off if you don't mind now. So everyone, thank you for joining us today on the hip part of emotional intelligence on child development. That was Mrs. Hester. She came on board, and she gave really nice presentation. She gave nuggets to raising an emotionally intelligent child. So the children are important. Every child is our responsibility. But this responsibility begins with you and I being emotionally intelligent and also creating an environment that fosters this emotional stability. Like she said, you can't give what you don't have. So the change we want to see in the society begins with what? With us. It begins with you. So we have a responsibility to do. Do not shut down that child. Give free expression to the child. Make sure you are creating the necessary boundary that they need. If you need to seek their consent too, because we want to raise individuals that will help the society to flourish. We want to raise individuals that will help the church to flourish. We want to raise individuals that will be impactful, agents of change, people that will go into innovation, people that can relate with other persons with the spirit of empathy. So I want to say a very big thank you to every one of us that took out time to join us today. I remain your host. I'm Rosemary Onoyiwaka Ilebua. Till we meet again, thank you very much. God bless you and bye for now.